Hey, so we need an update on the mini smog situation.
Yeah, so after we took off the intake and adjusted that hose, we took it back to the same smog guy and everything passed, and it seemed like he felt kind of dumb for calling out that intake. So doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to use him any longer. And we got that off. So the Mini has passed smog and it's all good to drive around. But in this video, we are taking off the Borla exhaust and we are going back to stock. So okay, so I'm on to changing out the exhaust. So this has a catback Borla stainless steel exhaust. It's pretty cool. Sounds pretty good. As I recall, it was pretty easy to get it out. So I went on the side of my house, dug out the old exhaust right here. So I can't state it enough. Keep your old parts, especially if you don't know if you're going to sell that car or what in the future, because I'm not going to get any extra if that Borla exhaust is on there. But if I sold it on eBay, I don't know, might get $500, might get $1,000. Who knows what I'll get for it. So I kept all the parts for this. Looks like there's a bunch of like crud in it too. I'm gonna have to lubricate these threads right here, but I don't know if you can see in there, but there's cobwebs. Should be fun bolting that up and just seeing all the crap fly out of it. So yeah, so first things first, I'm gonna jack up the car. I think I'm gonna jack it all the way up on one side and then put a jack stand, and then jack it up on the other side and jack stand. Right here, there's these little, right there. That's where you put your jack stands at. Sometimes they fall off, or sometimes people take them off. But so I'm gonna put those on, and we are gonna go from there. Just gonna get the car high enough so that I can wheel underneath it very easily. All right, jacked it up. Those are, the small ones are 3 tons. Those are 6 tons. And just the slope of the parking lot and the way it was jacking up, it wasn't coming up as much in the front as it was in the back, so I just swapped them. Those theoretically should be able to, one of those should be able to hold the whole car, so 2 of those in the front, 2 in the back should be perfectly fine. So a few safety tips that I kind of go through: have your jack pumped up and making contact but not lifting it, so that if something happens and you're under there and you're screaming for somebody's only got to pump that like one time to start relieving pressure. The other thing is, before you get underneath it, give it a good shake. Make sure it's pretty solid, because once you're underneath there and you start working, you're going to be just like in the zone, you know, torquing on a bolt that's not coming off or something. Hopefully that's not me, you know, thinking about the future here. But yeah, it's perfect. It's up. It's out of the way. Obviously a lift would be the perfect thing for this, but I'm in the parking lot of my work, no lift here, so this should be just fine. This is basically how I put the exhaust in. So just gonna go underneath and try to remember everything I did here. Got a light so we can try to light this up. Yeah, so it's basically 2 small resonators. I think a lot of the bracketry and stuff, the Borla system didn't need it, where the stock system did need it. So there's these clamps right here. I kind of remember you could angle the exhaust pipes up and down just to get them perfect. I think you can go in and out to try to get them center into the outlet here. So probably gonna take off stuff at the end first and just start working my way back. Looks like there's right there 2 can unclamp those. So hopefully I could take off the back, the two side, and then focus on the center, and then put in the rest. Bit of cobwebs. Yep. Hopefully those spiders stay friendly. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna start there. Probably put the camera up in time lapse. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, that's the reason we jacked up the whole car, because that resonator way down there, the shiny one, that's got to come off. So yeah, so take a good look at the Borla system. It's pretty snazzy. Now that you saw the Borla system, here's the, I already showed it to you, but just wanted to, now that you've seen the other one. So basically the exhaust comes in into here, and then out of there, and then into there, and then out there. So where the Borla splits off into two resonators, so it's much better flowing. The Borla does have a resonator in the center right there where this one doesn't, but I'm assuming that's for like droning. And I'm pretty sure once we get that one off, you'll be able to see that it's pretty much straight through. Like that's straight through, these are straight through. So you can see how much more restrictive. And this thing's pretty darn heavy in comparison to the other one. So we'll be gaining some weight back, but selling the car anyways, so whatever. All right. Okay, just bringing you in. So yeah, this whole thing would be probably 2 to 3 times easier if you had a lift. It's just the getting up and down all the time, trying to figure out what's what. So this heat shield, I was trying to not take this heat shield off. So the battery box is, this is the battery box. So the little plastic nuts that go on here, they're 10 millimeter. The nuts that hold on these are 13 millimeter. I think the ones for the clamps on the Borla are 15 millimeter. So anyway, so we got it to there, right? So now it's the center support in the middle. Right there. So center support in the middle, which is right about there. And then unbolting it from the back of the cat, which is right about there. So those are the next 2 steps. Definitely recommend taking off this heat shield. This makes it a little bit easier. The whole thing's kind of a pain in the butt. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think when I was doing the diagnostic, it said one of the rear wheel speed sensors was wonky. Unfortunately, I don't see anything easy. You know what I mean? Not like a frayed wire or something just unconnected, which would be ideal. But all right, so now on to the center support. Maybe I'll take it off the back of the cat first, and then as soon as the center support's down, it should just all come off. Actually, I think this back piece comes off right there, so I'll probably do that first. Just kidding. Thought we would take a look at this. So this is basically how it bolts up into that Y. Really nice heavy duty clamp. So this is the part that I was saying was 15 millimeter. So as you can see, pretty small, there's my hand, in comparison to this guy. So definitely lighter, more flowing, and not the lightest. These are actually kind of heavy feeling, which is kind of nice, So I probably had these on there for maybe 30, 40, maybe 50,000 miles, and I don't remember exactly when I put it on. Around the time I got it, but these came off very easily. So yeah, Borla is a very nice system. if you can afford it. It is a little pricey though. Some of the brackets I believe I saved all the brackets. I think I might be missing one bolt, but I saved all the brackets. So it looks like this wraps around the muffler, and then this bolt's right here, and then these two parts go into the two rubber hangers. Both of the orange rubber hangers seem to be broken. I'm not sure how much I'm going to worry about that, but yeah, they're both toast. So one's inside, but it's still kind of toast. So all right, I'm going to get onto that to the Y pipe, pull that off, and then should be the center support, and hopefully the whole thing just is out. All right, got that out. It was kind of a pain in the butt. Just, not the right tools for my little impact. But other than that, I almost said the cardinal sin of this is going pretty smooth. Because as soon as you say that, it's not going to go smooth, guaranteed. So the center has this plate with two mounts that mount it. Going around this are 10 millimeter bolts. So you need a 10 millimeter socket. This has a 17 millimeter. So the only trouble I had, other than squishing my big fat body underneath the Mini there, was these were kind of on pretty damn tight. So these right here needed some WD-40, but I didn't even let it sit that long and they just broke free. So that was really good. For those who haven't experienced the pleasures of having to cut these off or just getting a grip on it and just breaking the bolt, that went way smoother than it should have. So on the other hand, the whole exhaust from Borla is out. So now that plate gets put onto that, and these mounts that sort of straddle wrap around each exhaust pipe. I'm gonna see if they'll be in the way, or because I'm thinking that the top pieces might need to go on into them, and then you're just gonna jack up the back and then put the bottom straps on. I think that's probably gonna be the way it's gonna want to go. So this will bolt onto that, and then we'll slide that in. So probably what we'll do is we'll put that on there, slide this whole thing under, slide this into place, and then jack up the back, possibly bolt the straps in, and then bolt that in, and then it's done. But before we do all that, we can't do anything else. We got to fire this thing up, see how it sounds without the Borla system. So it would be a cat back. It'll be pretty loud because you got this resonator, this one, and that one. So got to see how that sounds first before we move forward with anything else. That's the most important thing we got to do right now. All right, here we go. Let's fire it up. Okay, that's really loud. All ready to go in. This took a bit of farting around because it's it's on one side and not the other. It didn't fit the other side, and then trying to see if there was any telltale signs of which side's up, which side's down. I'm pretty like 90% confident this is the way it's going to go. On the bottom of those tailpipes right there, there's a hole, which makes sense to let water drain out. So I'm pretty sure it's going to go this way. Also wanted to show you the Borla muffler. First of all, check out how nice those welds are. But the thing I wanted to show you was, see, it's just straight through. Everything's straight through, so it definitely flows really well. So what the plan is to take this whole thing off, put the top right there on that small dolly, put the back on that bigger dolly, and then wheel the whole thing underneath it. The brackets, I've already put in the one side of them. So basically, these hold the mufflers. Let me see if I can get far enough back. Something like that. This is 2 bolts go in, hold it up. So I got the top part done. So this mount actually is not, was it this one? No, that one's broken. Okay, so that one's broken. So I got a couple options here. I can leave it the way it is, and then once this muffler is tied in with that muffler, this thing shouldn't be able to come out that far. And the reason I'm leaving that in there, so it's at least spaced up relatively to where it needs to be. Now I can replace this. Now that would be, if I was keeping it, that is the absolute right thing to do, but this car, as cool as it is, surprisingly is not worth that much. Like, they're going, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but they're going for like $3,000 to $4,000. Even though this one has low miles, so like 70,000 miles, it's still not going for that much. And it's pretty crazy to me. It's a 6-speed, supercharged, manual, super fun car. But I don't know. I don't know if they just produce a lot of them and there's no rarity, or the value's just not there, or maybe one day, but not now. So I'm gonna put that in just the way it is, and I'm gonna see if it holds. And if it holds, then I'm just gonna leave it. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm just gonna pick it up, slide her in, and then if I can lift the front, I'll lift the front, and then I'll get the bolts in to the back of the cat, and then get them started so they'll stay, and then probably jack up the back and get a couple of these started. Luckily I saved all the original bolts. I thought I was missing one, but it was hiding in that box. So these are 10 millimeter, and I believe the nuts that came on the car are still 17 up there. So everything's pretty much ready to go. So let's see how it goes. Okay. Oh, this thing is much heavier. Oh. Whew. Right, so she is all back together. Shields on the back. I did notice a difference. The original Mini exhaust, what bolts into the catalytic converter, the Borla gave me 17 millimeter hex nuts. The stock is 13, just in case anybody wants to know, or at least that's what it was on mine. Getting underneath here, I don't think it matters that one that was broken. Can't even notice it. You know what I mean? Exhaust is supposed to have a little bit of give to it. So yeah, these were a little bit of a pain in the butt. I do sort of recommend a cause see, here is, let me see if I can get it right there. Can you see it? Right up there. So if you took off the tire, super easy. It's one of those socket joints so that you can, ratchet around a corner if you have to. That would be definitely preferable. So I definitely recommend putting in the top part first and then the bottom. There'd just be no way to do it otherwise. But yeah, so it's all in. I guess we'll fire it up so you guys can hear what it sounds like, or what it lack of sounds like. Alright, so that's what it sounds like. Kind of cute, I guess. It's got weird little burbles. They're like, actually from the inside, having it start up, it actually seems more bassy. So there's a few projects left on this before we're gonna call it and put it up for sale. So I kind of would like to get these headlights looking a little clearer. So there's that. This A-pillar right here, I did buy another one, so replacing that. Obviously a nice wash and detail, and then the headliner. I have an idea how to fix that headliner, but other than that, this project will be done. So I'm just gonna drop it off the jack stands, but thanks for watching.